Mm-hmm.
And about a few of them completely cut out the shipwreck that was in the scene because
Oh, wow.
it didn't, it looked like outliers. It looked
An anomaly.
an anomaly, and it was like,
Yeah.
well, if you over clean data, you can really remove some of the features that are
Important
in it,
detail.
right?
Yeah.
That being
Yeah.
said, at different depths, you kind of can get a sense of what's real and what's not. And there are also, that's manual editing. There's also filters where you have math determine what points are removed.
What I think is so admirable is when people like you take different data sets and then make a mosaic out of them, because each instrument has a different calibration, and so that's really hard, I think, to create a somewhat consistent map
Yeah,
from
sometimes
different
there's an
data
offset
sets.
in the depth, especially in shallower
Mm-hmm.
water. There can be, if it hasn't been corrected for tides, for example, or things like that. But um, in general, yeah, you could go back to the raw data itself, the XYZ points, and kind of regrid from that. Or if your rasters, your gridded data are pretty good, you can uh, you can mosaic those together, kind of average the cells a bit. But it totally depends on the data and what it looks like, how clean it is, if there's offsets.
Did you see that large rockfish wiggling its way into a hole there?
Yeah, it was a copper. That was a
Okay.
copper.
What was he?
That was a copper rockfish.
Oh.
The same species we were seeing when we came upon that first big rock grouping of rocks. All those were copper rockfish.
So we're too shallow to see like a cowcod, for example. They would
We
be
might
deeper.
see cowcod here, but the dorsal spines on a cowcod are more a little floppier looking. That one was a very erect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can see the coloration on the body, and it's got a clear zone that runs along the lateral line often, and the coppers are look different, and their dorsal fin is not as deeply incised. Yeah, the cowcod, I don't know if you remember, but the dorsal spines kind of flop to the side a little bit.
I do not recall that, but thanks for telling me.
And they're also deeply incised as well.
Kind of still seeing that delineation in the sonar of the sediment on one side and the rockiness on the other. So pretty cool.
We have our maritime historian on the science chat, Bob Schwimmer. You might have worked with him, and he said, I heard that about the shipwreck removal. So
Yeah, it's easy to
he's
do.
often asking us to do mapping to find shipwrecks, to locate them.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
I found one in some data up we were doing with Ocean Networks Canada. We had some weather days and we're mapping, and it's really cool because the data was pretty dirty, but when I cleaned it up and in final review, I found a shipwreck in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
How many
it's not a
steps?
shipwreck until you go see it, but it appeared to be clearly a shipwreck.
Yeah, so just like what we're doing now, you would go down and with some type of visual surveying instrument to ground truth the mapping data. But Bob, he has all these archives, and he can come up with pretty good estimates for where a shipwreck might be located.
Hmm.
You know, based on sort of the historical account of what happened, and some of it is also finding something on a map that was surveyed using sonar, and then trying to figure out which ship could that be. So that's sort of reverse engineering it. It's like being a detective.
What's that?
Yeah.
He's very good at it.
Let's alter course here and we'll go straight to BA. So we're gonna go
Okay.
go south. Bridge nav.
South we go.
200 meters south. Thank you. Yeah.
That brings to mind another book. We were talking about the book about Alexander von Humboldt on one of our shifts earlier. And that's another copper rockfish, by the way, snuggled down next to that
Yeah.
rock.
They look so much bigger than the half bands that we're seeing.
They are. They can get.
They look like
I think
giants.
They can get up to 50 centimeters or something. They can be pretty chunky. But the book that came to mind when you're talking about the shipwreck and detective work, historical detective work that goes on is, and then in addition to this technology that we're using now, have you guys read Ship of Gold in the Deep Blue Sea?
Nope.
The book
No,
that
haven't read that.
chronicles Tommy. Yeah, it's a great book. Took me a long time to get through it. It's very has a lot of technical detail, but it was a really interesting read. I can't remember how deep the ship was off the Atlantic. It was a gold carrying ship from California that got caught in a hurricane off the East Coast and sank. And some of the passengers survived and many didn't. And there was gold, and the explorer Tommy Thompson developed an ROV that could go to that depth and retrieve things. And that was a huge feat in and of itself, in addition to the sophisticated way they went about with the tools they had at the time in the 80s, I think this was, to zero in on where the ship might be. Yep, the Central America is the name of the ship, Robert Schremer is saying. Yep. Right after I read that book, I was on my way to a Giants game in San Francisco and looked in the window of a Wells Fargo bank, and they had a model in the window of the Central America, the very ship we're talking about, which was such a weird coincidence, having just finished the book. It was a side wheel steamer, if I remember correctly. I'm looking at the chat to see if Robert confirms. And of all people, my horse vet told me about it.
Octopus.
Nice. Quick moving one.
Yes, might as well.
See if it changes color on us.
He's a little guy.
Zoom quick, Steve.
Seems like it. Oh, got caught up.
Ooh.
Hurricane. Ouch.
Prettier.
But did you see how it changed its color
Oh
just
yeah.
as it
Yeah.
lifted off? Ooh,
And then it
Wow.
goes back to the dark color as it sets down. That's
Really
wow.
cool.
Look
yeah.
at that.
Really blends in.
I'll go get that light off when we after we lose this octopus.
He really thinks he's camouflaging.
Yep.
Can't shake us.
It's going in the hole.
That was pretty cool.
So we're in the last hour of the last watch of the last dive
Last dive.
of this cruise. Yeah, we've done quite a lot of dives. We actually started in Channel Islands because of the weather. We were supposed to start up north off of the San Luis Obispo coast, and we moved some of our cruise schedule around and hid in the lee side of the Channel Islands and conducted a few dives there first, and then went back up to the Santa Lucia Bank portion. Did a couple of dives there where we dove on very deep portion on the escarpment of the Santa Lucia Bank. We also dove on the fault scarp where a fault line is, and we located at 1,000 meters some really beautiful sea corals and deep sea corals and sponges, ones that had never been seen on the bank before previously. We also did a Petrale sole spawning dive to observe that behavior and confirm that the Petrale sole were indeed sort of congregating, where you had some large individuals at the bottom of these, what we were calling cuddle puddles, sort of the stacks of Petrale sole on top of each other.
Yeah.
And then we came down here to Channel Islands where we've had some amazingly beautiful dives. And yesterday we saw a reef made up of dead Phorea sponges that just went on forever and ever, but it formed habitat for other sponge species. And this was about at 500-meter depth. So I'd say all in all, we've had some very successful dives, significant discoveries, interesting exploration.
And a lot of valuable samples collected.
Yes. Yes, a lot of work will continue from what we did in this last 10 days. And made all possible because of the Ocean Exploration Trust's capabilities with the ROVs and with telepresence. Because of COVID situation, the entire science team for this cruise has remained ashore, and the operations team for the Nautilus, the folks that are piloting the ROVs and navigating, they are on the Nautilus ship right now. And Di and I, as part of the science team on this watch, we are calling in from our home offices. and watching the same feed that you folks are watching at your home.
Yep. It's pretty incredible. It's very incredible. And it's
Yeah.
worked very well.
Yes. So thank you. Thank you, crew, for your expertise and just your dedication. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
Kind
for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Grateful to be
Yeah.
here.
It's been
Yeah,
great
we are
working
too.
with you. And the sheer length of these dives has been so valuable, to be
Yes.
down for such great lengths of time and cover so much ground is
Yeah, we've had dives
really
that were
valuable.
32 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, we have 4-hour watches. So Di and I have been often on the 12 to 4. So that's midnight to 4 and noon to 4. And we've been with this same crew with Dan and Jake and Rennie, Steve, and Taylor Ann.
Yeah.
Another one. Neat color. This one gonna chase the lasers. Laying low.
Not, yeah. We saw some doing that, correct?
Yeah, I think it
An
was
octopus?
is it a giant Pacific that we saw doing that?
Full zoom.
Yep. And the cruise has also included additional mapping, right, Lisa, up
Yes.
in the
Mm-hmm.
Chumash area. So we've added that additional information.
Yes. But it was mostly
landscape.
exploring the Santa Lucia Bank area. It's an area that has been nominated as a National Marine Sanctuary, but it's also an area for which there's intense interest in the production of offshore wind. So having a better idea of the seafloor features and the different communities that live there will be very instructive for any decisions that will be made about lease sales and potential mitigations from impacts from that type of energy production. So lots of folks that we're partnering with, the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. We'll be sharing some of this data, this visual survey data with them from Santa Lucia Bank, but also the collections. And a lot of us form these partnerships because it's just beneficial from us to pool our resources and knowledge for this type of exploration, because it's very difficult to get here. As you can tell from the number of folks that are just participating in this watch, it takes a lot of people, a lot of expertise, and it's hard to get here. And this dive, we're only at 90 meters. As I said, some of the dives that we did were down to almost 4,000 meters.
Yeah, so these cooperative cruises with various partners and a 24-hour operation schedule really helps to gather as much information as possible,
What's that over
because
there?
Right.
we don't have lots of time to do time and money to do this type of work, and there's a lot of
Ooh,
seafloor to explore. Oh, look at this
A lot of carp.
Whoa, that's a
Taylor
whole
Ann,
urchin.
the
Taylor
mother
Ann.
lode, Taylor Ann.
the ultimate, the ultimate
Yeah, let's
collection.
scoop
This
this
is a
up.
nice ending.
Oh my gosh, that's a wow. A
Taylor Ann, I hope you're
full-
getting pictures of this.
Yes, I
This would be
am.
a
Bridge
great
now.
Wow.
opening slide
Add
for
one more
your
step,
future
200
presentation.
meters, 180.
Do you want to kill the lasers for a second, Jake? Or Dan, sorry. Forgot who's sitting there.
Wow. So many urchins. I'm gonna count them. Not now, but later. Oh, there's bryozoans on there too.
So Erica Burton, who was on the Monterey Bay leg to Davidson Seamount, she was also on this watch. She says thank you to all of you.
Thanks, Erica.
Yeah, thanks, Erica.
Yeah, the sea star wants a snack too.
They can move quickly, can't they? That sea star.
Coming in.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I think this is the light of kindness.
So those white,
That's a bryozoan, I believe.
Yeah, the white patches on there, are bryozoans. Shout out to my lab mate Brian who studies those.
Brian Zoen.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
Yeah. He knew what he was getting into.
Gotta move soon.
Yeah, whatever.
that's cool.
Yep.
Helpful.
Membranipara is the species that my lab mate is, I think, primarily looking at.
Do we want to take, let's see, what's our time frame now?
345 is when we're pulling off the bottom.
Okay. And do we want to do a couple sediment cores before we come up and allow for that time-wise?
Sure, it's up to you.
I don't have a need for any more, but if anyone else does, we could.
Yep, sorry.
I don't know.
I'm just looking at the plan to see.
We took 2 at the beginning.
Yeah. And let's see.
I don't think we're going to be in that different of a habitat from the beginning of the dive.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay.
At the beginning of the watch, I mean.
Too much going on.
Well, let me read that dive plan too.
So this dive would be appropriate to prioritize sediment core samples along a distance to shore gradient. Under science objective.
So when we started this watch, where were we? Which waypoint were we at? So just to eyeball the distance to shore.
Yeah, I can take a look.
Yeah, thanks, Rennie. I don't recall. We started before AZ. We were moving to AZ.
Yeah, we were headed
I
to
think we
AZ
were at
from,
or just after AY.
And right
yeah,
now we are
Well,
heading to
we're
BB.
we're almost at BA.
BA.
Do you think that's a big enough distance to shore to?
We could potentially just take one when if we do reach BB, the farthest point, right before coming up.
Okay.
It
What do
will
you
be a
say?
horizontal distance of 1.3 kilometers from our last push course.
It could be,
Yeah.
for the sake of time.
Yeah.
I would suggest we stop and do it and then continue on rather than wait till the end, just not knowing how much time it's going to take.
Sounds like a plan.
Sorry, Taylor.
Oh, sounds like a plan.
Okay. Is here
What
a
do
good
you
spot?
say? So hold on. Do we want to do the sediment core or do we want to get to BB?
Yeah, what's the primary goal?
Let me see if what our timing is like, if we'll even get to BB. Let me double check that. We're
Yeah,
still
I don't know
moving,
if
by
we're
the way,
going to
so
make
we're
it to
not
BB.
not losing any time.
I don't know how important the cores are. It's just mentioned under objectives as a possibility to
Yeah.
capture a gradient.
So that would be for me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's what do you think, Taylor Ann? Would you like to see a couple more cores as we get closer to shore?
Yeah, we could take one more before the dive ends. I don't think it's significantly farther enough. Like if we go from A to B, so we could take one now.
We will not make it to BB.
We will not. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, BB is just a suggestion. So, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
That's my vote.
Sounds good.
So stopping here. Any particular spot? Raj. Bridge nav. Hold position. Thank you.
On some good looking sediment.
Are you driving, Jake, right now?
Yes.
Piloting? Okay.
Can you see how far this was from the last push core already?
How far?
Just, yeah, how far it was
It
from
was
the
about
last
1.3 kilometers.
From the last, oh, okay, the push core. We did take that at the start. Okay.
Yeah.
I can double check.
Yeah, the beginning of the dive to here.
Yep, 1.3 kilometers.
I mean, the beginning of the watch, sorry. Is 157?
Yes, this is my last sample sheet that I have. I need to get some more speed.
Did you see when you were pushing the core down how it caused another area to sort of
Poof
have,
out. Yeah, saw that.
yeah. The, I guess in physics, the opposing force theory here.
It's in the bumper bar there. Got the snap?
Yep.
Number 4.
I think that said number 1 on the tape, but it's red tape, and it's in position number 4 from the front of the starboard box.
Okay. But this is 157 then?
Yes.
And 158?
Yep.
2 samples.
And we're putting that in 5. So can I review with you, Taylor, around what we have? We have push core 1, and we have push core 2, 4, and 5.
Yes. So I guess we're gonna have to talk to the RV team about how we're labeling the push cores, because it's changed from what we normally do. So there's a little confusion there, but so that's why I'm paying attention to the color of the tape and the position that it's put in, so that we know which one is which. Yeah, it looks
right. So
like it.
Yeah, we used to always go by just position on the vehicle.
That last one was yellow, and it said number 2 on it, but it's in the last.
Yeah, I don't know when it, I think it might have changed OCNMS.
Oh, right, when we had like
We had like
push cores.
20 push cores, and at some point during relabeling, I think they got switched.
Yeah.
I didn't have numbers on any of them. I had them all different color tapes. So there were some solid tapes and some. Okay, you can go. Go, go, go.
But
somebody put
had
numbers on them.
We're going to go a different direction now. So we will go 205.
Oh, wait.
Bridge
153 was.
Okay, yeah, let me go back to my sample sheets.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're putting it down correctly.
Push core number 153 had red tape and the number 5 put on it, and it was in position number 1 on the quiver. The quivers, yeah. So it was the very first closest one.
Yeah.
And then the next one, 154, was the orange tape, and it had push core number 3 on it. And then one of them that we kept pushing into the sediment wasn't working, so that one is not used. I believe that was the white tape one.
Bearing will be
Okay.
205.
So we've got it here in
Got
the notes. And then we
Okay,
have the
as long as
pictures
you
of
guys know
everyone.
what it is, and these are
Yeah.
for you, so.
Yeah, so we know where they're going and where they're from. And they'll have their proper labels once we transfer them.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of them are still going to USGS too, correct?
Yeah, so we're splitting it with 3
Okay.
groups. Yeah, that's why we take 2.
Good.
Yeah, I think we only had to do the, like Jake was saying, the complex labeling scheme because we had 16 push cores in different locations on the ship. But
Yeah, I
maybe
saw
more
that.
than that.
I got on board during that cruise, and I just did what was, I think the numbers were like that on that cruise.
But then typically when we only have 5, we just go by position, fore and aft, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the. So now they've got tape numbers and position. It's a bit.
Right.
Taylor Ann's juggling back there.
Just trying to write down all the things.
3s and
But
5.
it's-
Who's on
Yeah.
first? What's
Yeah.
on second?
Yeah.
There's 2 red tape
I
ones,
know
but
that-
with 2
that's-
different numbers and 2 different positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
That's exactly what I thought, but I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the end of it. I don't really need to decipher this.
Engineers and scientists, it might
Yeah.
get complicated.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Don't leave the labeling to
That's
the
why we take
engineers.
notes, right?
It's our fascination with complexity.
Yeah.
Is that the ship doing 0.25 or Jake?
Ship's doing 0.25 at the moment. It's going up to 0.5, just getting started. Do we have, so for the end of dive plan, do we have any Niskins and stuff that we'll need to take?
In terms of, for me, I would want just one at 50 meters.
Okay.
No bottom
Yeah,
Niski?
then we're good.
Well, yeah, we already have a few bottom.
Alright.
skins, yeah, so we'll be good. Oh, did I say 50, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, halfway up to the.
Yeah.
How do you feel about flying the recovery, Jake?
How do you feel about me flying the recovery? That's the real question.
I'm off the ship tomorrow, so I don't.
No repercussions.
You break it, you fix it.
Yeah.
What's that? The next day, actually, but
I don't know.
I think it's daylight. The weather's calm. Are we still at 20 knots? Or
20 knots, but it looks like the wind and current are coming from the same direction. So
Yeah.
that's usually a pretty.
Daylight being the main thing.
If you talk me through it, I think I can do it.
Yeah, I'll be right here. You've watched
You won't know
enough
till you
times,
try,
get it.
so I never know till you try.
Paul can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, you can't let Paul have one up on you.
No,
Yeah, I gotta get one in.
gotta get one in.
Yeah, you got to represent this watch, Jake. Come
Right.
on. The
Oh.
12 to 4 rules.
Yeah. Don't put too much pressure on it.
Last dive,
Oh,
last
no,
Yeah.
of the.
I have confidence in you.
Yeah.
You've done great.
Moving
I
again?
think you'll want to. Yeah, you're look where you are, and we're going
Oh.
in that direction. So
I forgot we changed.
Okay, the last minutes now. Great place to end. Here, Santa Cruz Island, at the Channel Islands National Marine Sanctuary.
Are you all off to San Pedro as soon as we get the ROVs on the deck?
Yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I think we pull in the morning, so we'll probably head in that direction, hang around the area until we have to go in officially to get the pilot to arrive in the morning.
Historically, we spend the night in Avalon.
Yeah, usually hanging out there while everyone's wrapping up all the stuff for the cruise.
Oh, so you'll head to Avalon tonight? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure what this captain will do. The other captain likes to overnight just outside of Avalon and then make the run into Pedro in the morning.
Yeah, that's a short
That's
run.
nice.
It's a nice place to hang out.
Yeah, we get cell phone service. And
Right. But you all have to stay on the
Yeah.
ship, right? Because of COVID?
yeah, no shore runs.
Darn.
It's tragic. You can have the water taxi come pick us up. And they're one of those parasailers, so I want to get on one of those things. There's a golf course there. There's all kinds of stuff to do there, too. I don't think we'd be into the little yellow submarine, though.
No, I think it's even named the Nautilus too.
Yeah, do you guys just sort of sneer at it like, the Nautilus?
No, it would be totally cool to do if you were
Well, is it a submarine?
with your kids and your family or something. But
Would we call it a submarine?
oh, they have the little glass bottom boats and the submarines there. There's a lot of fish that hang out there.
Squid.
Squid.
Well, they have a marine protected area, marine park, right by Casino Point.
Oh yeah.
The casino is very pretty to visit.
Yeah,
Great
I've never been
architecture,
to
Art
the
Deco.
casino.
It's beautiful.
Is
That's
it
the
golf course
California architecture.
Yeah. It's not an active casino, right? It's just a historic.
No, back in the day. It's just the name is still there, but it's not an active casino.
Yeah.
When was it built? I remember it being there when I was a teenager. We used to go over there and hang out. So.
I want to say like it has Art Deco architecture, so maybe the 1930s, but
Oh yeah.
Porch Light.
it was built under the direction of William Wrigley from the Wrigley, bubble gum.
Yeah.
And it was completed in 1929.
Wow.
See if that porch light makes it any better.
Is that part of the New Deal project, or is that before the Depression?
That was a little
Porch light?
before, I think.
Sorry.
It's
I got it.
before,
I think that makes it better.
and it was
Oh, that's a nice sea pen. That was different.
Yes, so it says, when chewing gum magnate William Wrigley bought the controlling stake in Catalina Island in 1919, he used this cleared site to build a dance hall he named Sugarloaf Casino.
Hmm.
It served as a ballroom and Avalon's first high school.
Would have been a cool place to go to high school.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in the area, Dan? Said you came here as a teenager.
What's that?
Did you grow up in the area?
Yeah, I grew up in San Diego.
Ah, right.
So for the last decade, it was used as a place to screen movies, but that ceased in 2019.
It times that well.
But it is
Movies
still
kinda
used.
stopped.
Yes, that's right. Well, this happened right before COVID, but I think it's just because most people are watching movies from home now.
Tom Leidig says, great cruise, everyone. Thanks to the Nautilus crew and the scientists for all your help to make this expedition very successful.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Thanks for being our fish
And
expert with Di.
and he said we did a great job. You, Lisa, found a scorpion fish. I was typing
Yeah,
or something. Right
that can
on.
be my claim
Good job.
to fame.
I'll put that one on your screensaver.
Yes, scorpion fish Lisa. Poisonous.
Way to go.
And we sometimes get asked if we were going to be a ocean creature, what would we be? So I've never thought about being a scorpion fish before.
Yeah. Well, I had
I've never seen one before, so
I studied
I didn't see
ichthyology
it right away.
with Larry. I did get a fish name. My ichthyology teacher, Larry Allen, who he would hand out fish awards at the end of his class, and he's a very talented illustrator, and he would make these awards for all of us, and I received the Firemouth Cichlid Award.
Aw.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Yeah, did he design,
apparently.
is he the one that designed all of the logos and stuff in Magnolia?
Yes, yes. And if you see the books that he's published on the fishes of
Yeah.
California, those are his illustrations.
Tom says to tell Dan, thanks for flying fast on the Petroli dive.
My pleasure.
Claim to fame.
How fast were you going, Dan?
Oh, we were going, still wasn't walking speed. It was definitely
Okay.
past Walker. We were doing 0.7.
Yeah.
Which seems
No, that is,
like really fast.
yeah.
If you look at your shoes
Well,
and walk at a normal speed, that's probably about the speed we're doing.
yeah.
This looks
So
scary
we
when you're
appreciate,
looking at your shoes.
well, and we just appreciate all the sort of troubleshooting and problem solving and just sometimes the things that we would ask for and how you all would just come up with solutions and just
Yeah,
really
your
great.
expertise and advice,
Yeah.
very helpful.
Well, thanks for all the
And
commentary. It's been really nice to be able to look at something and have someone explain it to us. It's been very cool.
well, and vice versa too.
Yeah, Steve, you did an amazing job always rotating through the different camera views as we were talking about different things on the ship. So that was also great.
Thanks.
That helps with the storytelling.
We got all these cameras. I figure we better use them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't notice the other watches doing what you did. So and you just sort of did it without us asking. I would look over and think, oh, he's showing us what I'm talking about. They say an image is worth 1,000 words.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
So right off the casino point at Avila is the luxury yacht Valiant, lost in 1930 and owned by the aristocrat Charles Howard.
Hmm.
Whom I do not know who is Charles Howard.
It's still sitting on
Was
the bottom.
Charles
is it?
Howard? Yeah.
What's that?
Say that.
Lost
Talk about
I
the
missed
ship.
that.
The yacht
1930.
she's talking
Oh,
about.
Charles. Yeah, this is from Robert Schwim. I can't pronounce his. I don't have his whole
Schwemmer.
last name. Lisa Schwimmer. Thank you.
Bob
the
Schwemmer.
maritime
Schwemmer.
historian. Thank you, Bob. And Charles Howard was the owner of the racehorse Seabiscuit, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking to see if Robert confirms
Yes,
that.
there are
And
pictures of him here with a horse.
And he
Yes.
introduced the automobile. He was an automobile salesman, or
Ship's slow into a stop there.
Roger.
introduced the
Coming up
automobiles,
on the
I think,
winch.
to San Francisco.
We can, we got a little time to set up because it's only going to be a few minutes to the surface. I will, I can have us go forward. Let me just check in that they're happy with this heading. Nothing in front of us. Bridge nav. We're going to recover and we're pretty shallow. So are you comfortable with this heading for recovery?
I don't see the deck set up for recovery either.
Okay, sure.
Want me
Change
to
the
come up?
heading and then once we're changed, you can stream forward at 0.3 knots. Thank you.
You can turn and fly to the southeast.
Yep.
135.
He's changing his heading slightly to starboard. But
So fly 110.
Well, it is unheard of for us to leave the sea floor only 15 minutes before the end of watch. shows how shallow we are.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes.
I want to do a test. See if I can scare the heck out of Jake. Where is it? Couldn't have said anything.
Whoa.
instrument flying.
Open the iris up, Steve.
Oh, to see how much ambient light is here.
That's our
Is that from Argus?
aft light
Let's see.
Or the blue beam?
there's a port light on Niskin.
Yeah, I have some other lights on. I would say none.
Yeah, I can see some shadows.
Yeah, there's some
But
other
just
lights
from
on
the
the
instrumentation.
vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
Kind of cool.
You gotta come up higher. All right, keep stretching her out.
Yep.
Coming up.
So long, seafloor.
Yep. We'll get to see
I
you
think it
on the
scared me more
tapes.
than Jake.
Happy Powell says thank you to the crew.
Thanks, Abby. Great hearing all the sponge knowledge.
Yes.
It freaked me out too. Dan didn't even tell me he was gonna do it. I was like, "What? I'm flying."
He did tell you something.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do some tests," and then
Right, I logged off bottom there.
no.
That was a soft warning.
Pull on it a little, Jake.
And
I
Daniel,
got my auto head off.
Daniel Geiger expresses his thanks and says he'll wave from a distance tomorrow in San Pedro.
Ah, sweet.
Bridge
You'll
now.
have to come up too.
Roger.
Full stick up. Zero your Z bias now. You can just touch the button right there.
Oh yeah, forgot about that thing.
Well, I'm going to say my last thank you to the 12 to 4 watch. It's been a real pleasure to get to know you and to, I really appreciate how much you shared of your knowledge and expertise, and you guys are
Full
just
stick
a
up.
really great crew.
Coming up.
Yeah, full
Thank
stick
you.
up.
Roger.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa.
And
Sorry,
likewise.
we were just
Yeah, you're busy. Likewise from
Yeah.
me, it's been a real pleasure and a thrill. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Di.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Di.
it.
Di.
You
It's been a lot of fun.
rack the camera back.
Yeah.
And
Is the
stop when you get 50 meters stretched out there.
Lisa, did you ever get that photo of the corals that you wanted to send to somebody?
Show me the skin.
No, I did
Skinisky.
not.
Okay,
But I haven't been actively
racked
trying
back?
to get a hold of it.
Go
yeah,
all
I'm
the way
right back.
back.
I think Steve zoomed a little bit.
Zoom out, Steve.
zoom line.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's it.
I'll get your email and send it over to you, Lisa.
Yeah,
I don't know if we can share.
Nicole,
Yeah.
here, I'll just put it in the, well, I'll get your email from Nicole and I'll send it to you.
Okay, great. And
Send you my email.
yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if we can make it public yet, but you can share it to. I know
Okay.
you wanted to share it to somebody.
We want to hold
sanctuaries.
50 meters too, so you get sorted out.
Okay.
Better.
Thanks, Steve, for following up on that. Appreciate it.
Have him stand by.
We're gonna stand by here at 50 meters. I'll call you back.
Did it trip?
Number 3, yeah, it looks like it went.
So we're done. Show me the manip. Pen right.
That was
Thank you.
159, Taylor.
Keep an eye on your depth there. You want to make sure you hold that 50, right?
Yep.
And you can start lateraling towards the center of the vessel there.
Better. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Taylor, was that 159?
I'm going to pan left here and look at Mongo.
Say again? I can't hear you at all. Weird. You just give me a thumbs up. Okay. I don't know why. All right, the ship is streaming forward at 0.3 knots, heading 300. Better. And we are all stop at 50.
Yep.
Let me know when you'd like me to call the deck.
Hey. Okay, stop the sonars. I gotta tilt this Argus camera up.
Roger. Stopping sonars.
Can you look down and make sure that front box is all the way close, just for, yeah, it's good. Okay, thank you.
The starboard box closed.
Looks like it.
Okay.
You look like you're in a good spot there, Jake. Even though it's under the boat, it's still kind of accurate left and right, like. So like you could lateral right a little bit.
Roger.
But you want to, at this point, you should probably put your auto heading on if you don't already have it.
It was on.
It was on.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you'll want to
have it
keep a little ahead to keep it
Stretched out,
stretched out.
just like
And
20%.
then,
around there?
yeah, that's whatever feels right. And then when he starts lifting Argus out of the water, then I pin it full forward.
Okay.
Still struggling with this camera. They must have the stop in it. That's why. Okay, Argus should be good. I'm gonna turn everything off except the butt light. You're happy there? Turn this one up. I need to be on.